You wouldn't be
analogy.
where you are without high expectations,
Yeah,
though, either.
yeah, right. And I think that I'm at a point also where it's like the incremental dollar or whatever, the incremental media mention is not worth as much as the incremental hour or even 15 minutes with someone I deeply care about. And those are very mastering, it sounds strange to say this, but becoming good at those two sides of the track are very different things. They require different skill sets. So for me, I would say, first of all, I think high expectations can be great. I think it can be amazing. And, uh, while I guess Archilochus way back in the day, right? We do not rise to the level of our hopes. We fall to the level of our training. Like, I think that's a real thing. So hope alone is not enough. Expectations alone is not enough. But I would say that for me, realizing that what you do matters a lot more than how you do any one thing is critical. What do I mean by that? So what you do versus how you do. This seems kind of strange. In other words, you can get really, really good at having high expectations for things that don't matter very much and being perfectionist about little things.
Hmm.
But that doesn't really move the needle for you or other people.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend your whole life focusing on little things. I think that's going to become the default for most of humankind in the next few years with AI. Like the idea that we're all going to have this incredible leisure class with tons of free time, complete nonsense. It's never happened with any
It's
technology
going to
before.
get worse. The
Yeah,
Karens are coming out.
so I would say that there's a book called The 80/20 Principle by Richard Koch, Koch. Read that. And this comes back to what I mentioned earlier, which is you really don't have to get a lot of things right to have an amazing life. So I used to over optimize. I would attempt to optimize almost everything because I felt like I had the bandwidth to do it. Maybe I did, but that can make you an insufferable son of a bitch, not just to other people, but to yourself, right? Because if you have unreasonable, unhelpful expectations in environments that you cannot control, interpersonal relationships, your girlfriend or wife or husband or whatever, your kids, you're going to drive not only yourself, but the people around you completely insane. So, when I sat down here, you might remember this, there was a little piece of paper stuck in here from a prior guest, the Serenity Prayer. And I folded it up and I was like, oh, I like the Serenity Prayer. And I put it in my pocket. Serenity Prayer is Stoicism, right? Being able to, separate things you can control versus things you can't control. And then the wisdom, hopefully, and experience to be able to tell the difference. And I've realized that being incredibly forgiving while knowing your non-negotiables up front with interpersonal relationships is, for me at least so far, like the path to intimacy and longevity and happiness and peace. And then with other types of I shouldn't say compartmentalize, silos in my life, let's just say maybe it's writing a book, having like unforgivably high standards, but with a deadline so that I'm not allowed to procrastinate forever. Because if I don't have a boss, and I don't, that perfectionism can turn into permanent, meaning you're not shipping anything.
Yeah.
So I still apply super high standards for myself with certain non-negotiables related to physical training or to cultivating and developing, conditioning a mental reserve, right? To hopefully stave off things like neurodegenerative disease. Those are all non-negotiable.